All right, being 6:37, we'll call the common council meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Clerk Lehman, the roll has been taken. Adoption of the agenda.
I move to adopt the agenda as
Mr.
presented
Barrington.
tonight, Your Honor.
Mr. Barrington made the motion,
Second.
second by Mr. Dorsey. Any additions or corrections? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion is carried by all. Approval of 5/19/2026 common council minutes.
Move to approve the minutes, Your Honor.
Motion made by Mr. Fache,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Besaw. Any additions or corrections to those? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion's carried by all. Mr. Dorsey, authorization to pay the bills, please.
I make a motion for authorization to pay the bills in the amount of $1,578,919.04.
Second.
Motion made and seconded by Ms. Magowski. Any additions or corrections to those? Hearing none, please cast your ballots. That motion carried 10-0. All right, up next, public comment. This is your time to talk. Please come forward to the empty seat. Please state your name, your address, and 3 minutes.
My name is Jeffrey Hanschke. I live at M5590 Fairway Drive. I'm here to speak about my daughter in the license renewal process tonight. Just want to let you know that she made some mistakes. She has been doing a very good job, cleaned up her records and stayed out of trouble. She shares a home in Appleton now with her boyfriend that they recently purchased. And she's responsible for all the upkeep of that property while he's away on guard duty for border security. I'm not here to undermine anyone's authority through this process, but I strongly believe it will be counterproductive to deny Giselle her license. It's given her stellar work ethic and commitment to doing the right things moving forward. She's an outstanding asset to her employer and to the city of New London. And I believe there was an email included with your packets tonight that I asked to be sent out. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hanschke.
My name is Renee Hoskett, and I reside at E6722 Slough Road, Weyauwega, Wisconsin. And I am running for the Waupaca County Clerk of Circuit Court's position. I grew up in the town of Saxville on Pine Hill Road, just over the Waushara County line, and I currently reside in the town of Royalton with my husband and our son. I started with Waupaca County in April of 1996. I started full-time with the Clerk of Court's office in October of '97 as a file clerk, which is coming up on 29 years of service with the clerk's office. I have been promoted throughout my time to account clerk, deputy clerk, and now chief deputy clerk since August of '22. The Clerk of Court's office is the keeper of the records for all case types and court proceedings, and I've always said that all roads lead to the Clerk of Court's office because our office deals daily with the public, the 3 judicial court branches, the DA's office, the sheriff's office, and the child support agency, just to name a few. Our office is also in charge of managing the jury system for the county, where we select and notify potential jurors. As chief deputy, I maintain all the financial records and processes for the office. I am responsible for collection efforts of outstanding fines and fees. I work with auditors twice a year to maintain our records with accuracy. I complete detailed monthly financial reports to the state and to the county's finance department. I assist the current clerk in budget preparation to present to the county board in the fall. I work closely with the clerk of courts on a daily management of employees and workload, and assist in training and fill in when she is absent. I am running for the clerk of court's office to continue my career with my knowledge and years of experience of knowing the office environment. I started out as a file clerk in the low man position and would like to come full circle to be the elected clerk. This wasn't a quick decision of running for clerk. I have been thinking about it for many years, and now is the time for me personally and for my family. I will continue to work daily with the employees we currently have to provide customer service to the public and to share my knowledge to continue running the office effectively and professionally, which so many people rely on. There's always room for improvement, and there's always room for change, and there's always room to make current processes more efficient with knowledge and technology. Change is inevitable and always in motion, and I am ready and willing to serve the citizens of Waupaca County. I believe my wealth of knowledge, experience, and dedicated service for 30 years to Waupaca County makes me the best fit for your next elected clerk of courts. I look forward to earning your trust and support as your next clerk. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hoskins. Anyone else for public comment? Last call for public comment. All right, hearing none, we'll move on to standing and special committees. Up first, Board of Public Works, Mr. Hess.
Thank you, Your Honor. Board of Public Works met Monday, June 1st. Meeting was called to order at 5:15. The motion was approved. The agenda was, motion was made and approved for the agenda. There was no public comment. The April 13th, 2026 minutes were carried by all. Wastewater treatment plant notes, wastewater notes enclosed in the packet. Review final facility plan for wastewater treatment facility and recommend design to Common Council. Mike Gerbitz, PE from Donahue and Associates Incorporated, had a PowerPoint presenting showing the options for the final facility plan for the wastewater treatment plant. Their board was asked to give directions on an option for the final facility plan to keep the project on schedule. The motion was made and seconded for the final facility plan for the wastewater treatment plant, Plan Alternative 7. Motion was carried 11-0. Approve and recommend the agreement with Donahue and Associates for final design of wastewater treatment facility based off the council-approved wastewater treatment facility plan option. Director Garsky reviewed the agreement proposed by Donahue and Associates for the final design plan for the wastewater treatment facility. This proposal would be selected alternative plan. The proposal is all for final design elements, Wisconsin DNR submissions, clean water funding applications, supporting the alternative funding, full plan set, and bidding documents for the bidding process. Motion was made and seconded to make an agreement with Donahue and Associates for the final design of wastewater treatment plan. Motion was carried 11-0. Approve and recommend the council 2025 CMAR resolution. A copy of the compliance maintenance annual report was available for review in the BPW packet. This is an annual requirement for submittal to the DNR, and there was no questions for the committee about the resolution. The motion was made and seconded, carried 11-0. Recommend the council 2026 transportation resolution. Administrator Hurth introduced a resolution providing by the League of Municipalities informing those at the state level government that need assistance with transportation funding for smaller communities. That motion was made and seconded, and motion was carried by all. Approve recommend a council proposal for the AECom for the environmental monitoring of Mini Park site. Mini Park was located on an old gas station site. During the 2024 downtown reconstruction, the state performed test borings at this location. They found exceedance of VOCs in the test borings. Wisconsin DNR is required for more testing at this location. The proposal for the monitoring Mini Park site with 5 monitoring wells that would be installed. Estimated cost of $39,875 for the work. It would not cover any costs if the USTs are discovered during monitoring well inspections, or any filing fees related to the DNR. That motion was made and second to recommend to council the approval. Motion carried 11-0. Consider lease of right-of-way property to Blossoms in Bloom. Administrator Hirth was approached by the business regarding the use of the right-of-way to grow mums. This lease agreement was drawn up, allowing for an annual renewal, rental amount, and access to utilities present in the right-of-way. That motion was made and seconded. Motion carried by all. Director's report. The director's report included in the packet was reviewed by the board. Anniversaries: Ted Christian, facility superintendent, 11 years of service. Jared Garvin's wastewater operator 2, 12 years of service. Preliminary work starting on Mill Street and Beacon for the 2027-2028 utility and road construction project. The final layer of Oshkosh Street is scheduled to start the week of June 8th and will include painting, crosswalks, and stop bars. High Street has a large utility path trench that was settled by MCOR and is looking for funding options to incorporate that in an asphalt program, patch program. Alderman Hess brought 2 items related to Oshkosh Street: adding stop signs to another location to slow down traffic by local residents, safety concerns due to parking vehicles causing obstruction at the corner of Oshkosh and Wolf River Avenue. Public hearing, along with a special committee meeting, will be held June 25th at 5:15 related to the wastewater treatment plan, final facility plan. Future agenda is the wastewater treatment plan upgrades. Date and time of the next board public works is July 6th at 5:15. No further discussions are made. We adjourned at 7:15. I would like to make a motion, consider approval of the 2025 CMAR resolution.
Motion made by Mr. Hess,
Second.
second by Mr. Barrington. Any further discussion? Hearing none, please cast your ballots. Motion carried 10-0.
I'd like to make a motion approval of the transportation resolution 2026.
Motion made by Mr. Hess,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Ritchie. Any further discussion? Hearing none, please cast your ballots. That motion's carried 1 yes, 1 no.
I'd like to make a motion to approve a proposal from AECom for environmental monitoring at Mini Park site.
Motion made by Mr. Hess,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Besaw. Any further discussion? Hearing none, please cast your ballots. That motion's carried 10-0.
I'd like to make a motion, consider approval of the lease of right-of-way property to Blossoms in Bloom.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Hess, who second? Mr. Ritchie? Any further discussion? All right, hearing none, please cast your ballots. That motion's carried 10-0 as well.
That's all I have, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Hess. All right, Finance and Personnel, Mr. Dorsey.
Yes, Your Honor, the Finance and Personnel Committee met Wednesday, June 3rd. Meeting was called to order at 5:15. We approved the April 8th minutes. There is no public comment. Corey Knepfel, Financial Advisor at Edward Jones, presented our portfolio, including diversification by investment category and asset style. The committee thanked Corey for his time. Police Chief Josh Wilson reviewed the business licensing review process and steps outlined in the flow chart to lead to denial of some applications, which we'll be discussing again later. Alderman Roberts requested a flow chart be revised, which we will do at a later date. Motion was made by Roberts, second by Shea to recommend the council approval of the quitclaim deed with Mark Coyle and Tanner Ort. Purpose of the deed is to clean up the conflicts at 200 North Pearl Street. Administrator Hirsch presented estimate flood expenditures for the city of New London. We're still waiting on guidance for funding available for the cleanup. Financial reports reviewed. Director's report was discussed. Being no further business, motion was adjourned. Make a motion to approve the quick claim deed with Mark Coyle and Tanner Ort to clean up the deed conflicts at 200 North Pearl Street, subject to the correct legal description of the property verified by the city attorney and city administrator.
Second.
All right, motion made by Mr. Dorsey, second by Mr. Pache. Any further discussion? Hearing none, please cast your ballots. That motion's carried 10-0.
Make a motion to consider approval of the license list approved by the London Police Department.
Motion made by Mr. Dorsey, second by Ms. Magowski. Any further discussion?
Yes, Your Honor. In the council packet, under requires the council's approval, combination Class B licenses, the vault is listed as approval recommended. SPG Groups LLC, the vault at 310 West North Water.
That's on this agenda line?
Yes, it is.
Chief, you got anything to say about that, or is there any? Mr. Hurd?
Nope, Carol Ann, was that, are they both on there right now? The vault and?
No, the other ones are not on there. So at this time, I would like to make an amendment to the motion to approve the combination Class B license as presented with the exception of the SPG Groups LLC, The Vault at 310 West North Water.
Motion's been made by Ms. Croy for an amendment.
I'll second it.
Motion been seconded by Mr. Dorsey. Any further discussion?
I know we had quite a bit of discussion about this at Personnel and Finance, but I don't see it on. So if we approve this, are we able to approve them next?
Yeah, that's why
Yes.
it's on another
Okay.
item listed.
I was just confused why it was
It did seem
separated
confusing,
like
yeah.
that, so.
I believe that was done in error. Okay, so, yeah.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, please cast your ballots. That motion carried 10-0.
We're looking at the London Police Department recommendation of non-issuing of a license and to consider the non-renewal of the Class A for New London Travel Plaza, combination Class B for the Vault and Dragon's Den. And I'll turn it over to Chief Wilson.
Thank you, Mr. Dorsey. As it relates to the non-reissue of the license, I believe Ms. Hanchy is going to withdraw her application at this time. If you want to confirm that for the group.
All right.
As far as the second portion with the Travel Plaza, the Vault, and the Dragon's Den, an opportunity to do some research myself and meet with Yash at the Travel Plaza. Some things that we spoke about, we confirmed that age verification software is present at the Travel Plaza. He went over the practices with me, that the license stuff, I met with the agent in charge there. I reached out to Appleton where the violations were from. He never had any license issues in Appleton other than the failure to display a current license, but he never not had a license. Those violations by themselves would not prohibit him from receiving a license next time. And I also spoke about the importance of completing the application thoroughly here forward.
Thank you, Chief.
I'll make a motion to approve the combination Class A for the London Travel Plaza and the combination Class B for the Vault and Dragon's Den.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded by Mr. Besaw. Any further discussion?
I still have a question for the attorney regarding the approval of these licensings. If we approve them and there ends up being an issue at one of these establishments, what is the recourse for the city in regards to the issuance of licenses, revoking license or issuances of them next time around?
So those are two significantly different
Yes,
processes.
they are.
If you just accumulate enough issues that arise that that there's a basis for a non-renewal, there's a statutory provision that basically before the renewal time, we have to provide notice to the establishment, and then they have the right to object, and then we have essentially a quasi-judicial hearing, which is kind of what we would have had tonight. So there's a process for that has to be followed exactly how the statute provides. Revocation, you would have to have a pretty significant violation, and then you would have to do that very similar type process where essentially somebody would petition, or there's a procedure where a citizen can do a verified petition and say that I think somebody either shouldn't be renewed or should be revoked. Most of the time what happens is an agency of the governing body, meaning police department, administration, files something that says we have reason to believe that this person should be revoked, and then there's a significant process to do that. But if that answers your question, it's not an easy process. Essentially, they have a property right in it, they have a license. If you get the license, you're expected to be able to renew it absent significant violation.
Any further discussion? We have a motion and a second. Hearing none, please cast your ballots. That motion carries 9 yes, 1 no.
That is all I have, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Dorsey. Park and Recreation, Mr. Besaw.
Thank you, Your Honor. Park and Rec Committee met on Tuesday, June 2nd. The meeting was called order at 5:15. Motion to approve the agenda, made and first and seconded. Motion was carried by all. Motion to approve the meeting minutes was carried by all. Public input, being none. Consider approval agreement with the WDNR to install sturgeon habitat along the Orchard Park and Barris River shoreline. Director Soul brought to the committee an agreement that was drafted in cooperation with sturgeon biologists and fish habitat staff from the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources. Motion was made and second to consider and approve an agreement with the WDNR to install sturgeon habitat along the Piper Park and Barris River shoreline. That motion was carried by all. Consider approval amendment to ordinance 9.03. Director Soul presented the committee changes to the ordinance that would allow for archery to take place when an archery class is conducted on school district property, a business location where the sale of archery equipment takes place on a professionally developed range, or at a designated or designed outdoor archery range approved by the Common Council. Motion is made and second to approve the amendment to ordinance 9.03. That motion was carried by all. Discuss and consider an amendment to ordinance 9.1652, city boat launch fee. Discussion about the lack of public parking space in the Riverside parking shelter area was discussed. Chris Martinson and Jim Huffman from Wolf River Patriots approached the committee asking for parking exceptions for the event held at Riverside Park. It was agreed to have several parking stalls made available for this year's event. The committee directed Sol to configure a new lot design to allow for the north stalls to be made into public parking to bring back for discussion at the next meeting. No motion or vote was taken. Director's report was included in the agenda packet and reviewed by the committee. Additional comments, notes as follows. Staff recognition, Jim Thorpe, 24 years, 13 years as full-time employee. Amy Hard, a new senior program supervisor.
Thanks to the staff for the work during the flooding, working with Schmidt Boat Docks for a railing at the end of the new gangway. Small things are becoming evident due to the flood damage. Pfeiffer scoreboards, bathroom pumps at Pfeiffer East Shelter. Taft Park had shifting at some of the paver blocks along with a railing. Verniger River Walk, the handicap concrete walk has had some washouts. Pfeiffer Middlefield bids were received and looked to see that work done on them before the tournament. Flowers, planters, and docks should be out by the end of this week, 6/1/2026. Chairman report was done. Future agenda items discussed charging for Fish Day when fees are received for the 2027. The next park rec meeting is July 7th, 2026 at 5:15. There being no further discussion, the motion was made to adjourn. Motion was carried. Motion was adjourned at 6:05. I would approve an agreement with the WDNR to install sturgeon habitat along the Pfeiffer Park and Barris River shoreline.
Motion's been made by Mr. Besaw,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Barrington. Any further discussion? Hearing none, please cast your ballots. That motion carried 10-0.
I would make a motion to approve of amendment ordinance 9.03 for the archery range.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Besaw, seconded by Mr. Fache. Any further discussion? Hearing none, please cast your ballots. That motion's carried 9 yes, 1 no.
That's all I have, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Besaw. Planning Commission, Mr. Ritchie.
Okay, the planning commission meeting for May 28, 2026 was called to order at 5:15. Motion was made to adopt amended agenda, removing item number 7 from plan, or the floodplain presentation. That was carried 12-0. Minutes for February 26th, planning commission meeting were approved. That was approved 12-0. There was no public comment. Public hearing. City Administrator Horth provided an overview of the item. The proposed pertain to previously discussed conceptual townhome development on the northeast side of the city. The proposal requires an amendment to the city's comprehensive plan to accommodate additional residential density on the site. It was opened up for a public hearing at 5:21. Public hearing was held to review the proposed comprehensive plan amendment 2026-03 to change the future land use classification of parcels 33306900 and 333069-100 from single family to duplex residential to medium-high density. There was no public comment was present. After discussing the public hearing was closed at 5:22. Consider approval of a resolution adopting amendment 2026-03 to the City of New London 2040 Comprehensive Plan. Upcoming agenda items, City Administrator discussed the potential for upcoming comprehensive plan amendments and the floodplain presentation, which will be held in the near future pending the availability of the presenter. Next meeting date, due to a special council meeting held on the 25th, the normal scheduled planning commission date needs to be rescheduled. Following discussion, it is determined that the special planning commission meeting will be tentatively held June 4th, 2026 for the flood presentation. The meeting was adjourned at 5:36. Okay, the planning commission met for a special meeting June 4th, 2026. Meeting was called to order at 5:16. Adopted agenda memorandum. There was no public present. Director of Community Development, Austin Dibbs, led a presentation on the 50% rule and floodplain regulations. Following the presentation, the floor was open for discussion. Main points and emphasis from the presentation included history behind flood regulations and the 50% rule. Contact the Community Development Department before completing repairs on flood damaged properties. The process the city is taken for assessing the documenting data for flood damaged properties. The why behind enforcing the floodplain regulations. Following a question and answer session, the agenda item concluded at 6:12. Upcoming agenda items, Director of Community Development, Austin Dibbs, discussed the potential for several CSMs coming in for review on a rezoning application pending the timeline of the application. The next meeting date, due to the special council meeting on the 25th, the normal scheduled planning commission date needs to be rescheduled. Following discussion, it was determined that the next planning commission meeting will be held July 9th, 2026, with the second meeting in July pending agendas. The meeting was adjourned at 6:20, and that's all I have, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Ritchie. Economic Development Committee, Ms. Croy.
Thank you, Your Honor. The Economic Development Committee for May 26, 2026 was called to order at 5:18 p.m. The agenda was revised and approved as amended, and the motion carried by all. The minutes from March 24th were reviewed and approved by all. There was no public comment. The committee reviewed an agreement provided by Ayers Associates to work on the landscape planning and design placemaking project intended for the riverfront property just east of the new SCS Wolf River Apartments. Chris Silweski, principal landscape architect with Ayers, provided information on the proposal, examples of past projects, and answered questions from the committee. It was recommended to council for the agreement with Ayers for the riverfront placemaking development plans, funding to be used from the City Economic Development Assigned Fund. That motion carried by all. Crystal Retzlaff, New London High School FFA advisor, introduced students from the high school FFA debate team. The team is preparing for a state debate competition and offered to present their topic to the committee as practice. The topic, Digital Gains versus Local Pains, AI Data Center Impact, is very timely for Wisconsin, especially in the light of recent news surrounding data centers. The students presented pro and con arguments on the subject, after which the committee asked questions, thanked them for the presentation, and wished them well at their state competition. There was no chamber report for this month. Administrator Hirth provided an update on the 2026 Business Facade Grant Program, provided a copy of the 2026 Waupaca County Economic Development Corporation's annual report, and informed the committee of a ribbon-cutting event for the new SCS Wolf River Apartments on June 9th. Future agenda items reviewed, and the next meeting will be held on June 23rd, 2026. Motion to adjourn was made at 6:26 p.m. and was carried by all. Your Honor, I would like to make a motion to approve the agreement with Ayers and Associates for riverfront placemaking development plans, funding to be used from the city's economic development assigned fund balance.
Motion made by Ms. Croy.
Second.
Second by Mr. Fache. Any further discussion? Hearing none, please cast your ballots. Ms. Magowski. That motion is carried, 9 yes and 1 no. Thank you, Ms. Croy.
Thank you.
All right, capital projects and equipment, Mr. Hess, you're back.
Your Honor. Capital Equipment and Project Committee met Wednesday, June 3rd. Meeting is called to order at 6:28. The agenda was adopted and carried by all. Motion made by Fisher and seconded by Roberts to approve the January 6th, February 4th, and March 11th meeting minutes. Motion is carried by all. And it was recommended to approve the council required DNR monitoring at Mini Park, estimated cost $42,000, carried 11-0. The next capital equipment and projects committee will be scheduled as an as-needed basis. Motion made and seconded to adjourn at 6:34. I'd like to make a motion, consider approval of 2026 capital equipment and projects purchases.
Motion made by Mr. Hess,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Roberts. Any further discussion? Hearing none, please cast your ballots. That motion's carried 10-0.
That's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Hess. Minutes and reports will stand as read in your packet. And moving right along to reports of officers on recent events and announcements to the public. Starting off with the mayor's portion, we have 4th of July coming up in a few weeks, and I just wanted to remind everybody while you're out and enjoying the 4th of July to be safe. And with that, we'll move on to City Administrator, Mr. Hurd.
Thank you, Your Honor. First of all, for the flood victims, we know that we were in the final stages of accepting flood damage debris at the municipal garage. The appointments for those drop-offs have drastically reduced, so we've been advertising on our social media page for the last few weeks that this Friday, June 19th, will be our last day for accepting flood damage debris. If you still need to schedule that appointment, please call our Public Works office right away, 982-8503. Second of all, I've been getting quite a few questions, but we have not heard back anything yet if the federal government has determined if the April flood event qualifies for federal assistance or FEMA funding. So we're still waiting to see if what type of funding opportunities may be available for the disaster relief, and once we get that information, we will let everybody know what the opportunities are. I also want to congratulate the Chamber on a great summer kickoff event. Looks like some of the Placer AI data shows that the attendance was up over 4,000 for the night, so that was really good turnout until obviously the storm rolled in. But regardless, congratulations to the Chamber on another successful event in the city. And then lastly, I'm passing on that the New London Public Library will be holding a ribbon cutting ceremony next Saturday, June 27th at 10 a.m. All the persons should have a flyer for that. If you haven't had the opportunity to stop in yet, I totally recommend checking it out. They did a really nice job filling in the building with all the collection material from their former location. But again, mark your calendars for next Saturday, June 27th at 10 a.m. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Hurd. And next, Chief of Police, Mr. Wilson.
Thank you, Your Honor. A couple save the dates for everybody. Wapaka County doesn't meet the fleet, and they travel throughout the county. So we hosted at the New London High School on July 21st. And we will also, on August 4th, hold our own national night out in the green space between City Hall and the Police Department. Some bike safety reminders. We do offer free bike licensing at the PD. We just need your serial number, make, and model. You don't have to bring the bike in if you have that information, and we'll license that for you free of cost. And as a reminder, in summer with the bicycle traffic, that no matter which bicycle you're driving, you do have to obey the rules of the road. That's all I have, Your Honor.
Thank you, Chief. Director of Public Works, Mr. Garsky.
Thank you, Your Honor. Oshkosh Street is near completion. The surface layer of asphalt was completed yesterday. There's still a couple punch list items to finish up, plus the paint striping left to do. The project area will remain soft closed until these items are completed. I expect the road to fully open in a week. Also, as a reminder about the special common council meeting and public hearing in regards to the wastewater treatment plant final facility plan on Thursday, June 25th, right here at 5:15. It will start with a presentation from Mike Gerbitz from Donahue and Associates. He'll briefly go over the final facility plan for any public that is in attendance that night. After the presentation, the public hearing will start. If residents would like more information now on this final facility plan, I suggest you go to the New London YouTube channel and look at the June 1st Board of Public Works meeting. There's a good presentation that goes over that facility plan. And that is all I have tonight, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Garsky. I see Director of Park and Recreation, Ms. Soul, is out of office. We have a report. Thank you.
Ginger obviously was not able to come tonight, but she did pass on some words. She would like to invite everybody to join in on the Festival of Foods in the New London Parks and Recreation Department to celebrate the nation's 250th birthday inside Hatton Stadium on July 4th for our annual fireworks show. Gates open at 6 o'clock p.m. There will be family games, crafts, a bike raffle, Yo DJ providing entertainment, and a concession stand. Fireworks start at dusk. Bring a lawn chair or blanket and come celebrate with us. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Hurd. Director of Community Development, Mr. Deeb.
Thank you, Your Honor. As included in your meeting packets, we issued 87 permits in the month of May. That is a significant uptick. Up until May, we had issued 75 for the year. So the Community Development Department remains to be busy. Much of that is due to the flood damaged properties we continue to work with, in addition to the development we're still seeing outside of the flood zone. So busy times for the department, and permits are up. As mentioned by Mr. Ritchie, we held our special planning commission meeting on June 4th to discuss the floodplain regulations and the 50% rule. I encourage anyone that missed that to tune in and take a look and watch that. It is published on our YouTube page. There's a lot of good discussion, a lot of good question and answer sessions there. And I encourage anyone that has any questions on that to refer to that and then to reach out to me as well with any questions regarding the floodplain and 50% rule. So. With that being said as well, we are still really encouraging people that if they receive flood damage to reach out. We need to make sure we're following the regulations that have been put in place by FEMA and the DNR. We talked about that a lot on June 4th during that presentation. So one other thing we talked about in that presentation was the city does intend on sending letters out to properties that we haven't heard from. Basically the contents of that letter will be essentially telling them to reach out and discuss their property. And because we need to keep track of those costs and repairs, based on what FEMA and DNR rules tell us to do. So, other than that, cities continue to grow. We're still receiving inquiries from developers about new things going on in the city, so that's exciting. And other than that, things are going along smoothly. So, any questions, let me know. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Deebs. And Utilities Manager, Mr. Bessett.
Thank you, Your Honor. Water crews are out in full force for construction season. They changed out 20 lead services and over 30 curb stacks so far this summer. Electric crews have been installing underground services and updating our GIS mapping. They've also been doing infrared testing on our system, checking for failing or heated components. And that is all I have, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bessett. Last but not least, we move on to adjournment. We have a motion.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Motion made by Mr. Ritchie.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Dorsey. Any further discussions?
I just would like to make sure that Mr. Garsky said about that June 25th public hearing, about that the wastewater plant upgrade. This is gonna be the last time they see what's going on, people. I mean, I see a lot of comments, so I don't know what's going on. I haven't heard nothing. This is your last time. I mean, we've had plenty of meetings. Highly advise you to either be in attendance or watch that so you're up to date.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Hess. We've got a motion and a second for adjournment. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried by all.